All right, mic check. One, two, three. Mic check. Hello, I'm Kristen Evans, and I am starting a YouTube series. And I'm going to be going through the studies that support that high contrast images are what babies prefer to look at. So, I am the founder and CEO of a one-person company, me, Contrast Baby, and we've developed a car seat cover where the high contrast images are on the inside of the car seat so that when you're out and about and on the go, baby can enjoy looking at the high contrast images along the way. So I am going to set up this YouTube series with three main things. Number one, first, which is telling and showcasing my black and white outfit, since I have gained a lot of black and white clothing. This one I got at Forever 21 closeout sale. It kind of has these long, billowy arms, which is fun. And I think I got it for like $4 at the closeout sale. Okay. Secondly, the thrift item that I will be sharing. So I'll go outfit, thrift, science. Okay, anyways, so this thrift item I love. It is like a soft fabricy mug, as you can see. And I was like, what is this? Like, this is so cute with the black and white and the flowers. Why is it squishy? But then doing a Google reverse image search, I figured out that it is a pin cushion, and it comes with a pin cushion top that is so cute, and then you can put your pins at your sewing station. So now into the reason I'm sure you guys are flocking to the account, which is our first study. So this first study I am going to dig into is one of the earliest back with babies, and not just observing the baby's behaviors and what they're looking at, but an actual study where it is attempting to put the babies in an environment and kind of test it. So this is by Robert Fance. Hopefully I'm saying that right. He was a researcher at Case Western Reserve University in Ohio, and he later got an award, a memorial award named after him for the amazing, basically in honor of the studies and the work that he did to add to this body of work, and basically kind of start it. And I thought it was so awesome because the Memorial Award is not just for people who come and do, for psychologists who come and do the research in some of the same areas that he did, but it also highlights anyone who does research with individuality, creativity, and free choice, which I thought was awesome because I am trying to creatively come up with my business. So if he were alive today, I would hope that he would enjoy the product. With this attempt to look at all of these studies, luckily I already have a working printer, which is amazing, right? Not everybody has one of these. I have my 5 highlighters, and I have color coordinated what I'm highlighting when I'm looking at the studies so that I can share them with you. So my code is number 1, green, easy to summarize and share. So this is going to be something I don't have to put a lot of energy and effort into, and I can just immediately share on my socials, and I don't have to dig in deeper, which are what I call the easy wins. Then we have the blue, which is what is this study asking? What question is it trying to solve? And then what the answer, the conclusion is as I'm reading. Orange, this one is just interesting. It makes me think a little bit, but it's not as easy as a green. And then yellow is, I feel like this is an important part of the study. I have to dig in deeper, but I need a lot more context because, yes, I should have said this in the introduction. Yes, I studied psychology in my undergrad, but no, I do not have advanced research experience beyond, my years as a basic research assistant. So anyways, need more context. And then pink, because it is my daughter Avery's, one of her favorite colors, pink and purple. Either I like the fact, I think it's cool, or it's cute. So anyways, there's some cute things in these studies with it being about babies. So now that you have the breakdown, I'll be using these colors along the way. So to break it down, like I said, previous to Fance, we had mainly observational studies with babies. And this was the first one where he made a technique called the preferential looking technique. So basically counting the seconds, the researchers counting the seconds of which one the baby was looking at. So they would set these two images side by side and then observe and watch what the baby was looking at. So in this study, it was either a checkerboard pattern or a blank, like a colored, just blank. And then the infants, so there were 30 infants involved in this study. And one of the things that I highlighted pink that I thought was so cute but sad was that 8 of the 30 subjects had to be dropped before this time due to persistent crying, fussing, or sleeping in the testing situation. So glad for the ethical science here and the ethical testing here, but I just thought it was adorable. Like, think about trying to get the babies to look and they're just so tired that they can't even hang. So anyways, that was one of the cute parts there. There were 10 sessions, so they tried to do these back to back, but some weeks they had to skip. So they did the study until each participant did 10 different sessions. So that was interesting. And then the babies were from ages 1 to 14 weeks when they started the study. So that's a little bit more about the study. And this one, I for a lot of them, I have the full text because I could find it online. But this one, I was able to find a couple of the pages and then the abstract and kind of the summary. So I'm going to go off of there. So this was published in the Psychological Record in 1958. Okay, so in the abstract, kind of my green easy wins were that visual patterns were discriminated by infants during the first 6 months as evidenced by different fixation times. Changes in the strength or direction of the pattern preferences occurred around 2 months. So around 2 months, that's when the way I'm understanding it is the big leap in when they can tell the babies really had a preference for looking at different things. And then it says consistent visual preferences were present as early as the first 2 months, like I said. The determination of natural visual preferences is a powerful method of studying early visual development. So yes, this was like one of the studies that kicked it off. And it was really actually hard when I'm looking online because I didn't have the full study on this one, to distinguish what happened between Fance's study. He had 3 main ones: 1958, 1961, and 1963. And so a lot of people that refer back to the work, like they refer to his studies in the 1960s versus like individual ones. So I think each one of his studies, which totally makes sense, build upon the previous study. And so we get more and more information from there. A couple other things that I wanted to mention in the study is that his whole opening paragraphs were about how limited the testing methods are at this point, and that William James talked about how the baby's world is just a great blooming, buzzing confusion. And it seemed like Fance kind of thought, but is it really confusing? Like, what can the baby discern? Because up until this point, it seemed like they were pretty sure that babies could perceive light and color and movement, but they didn't really think that babies could perceive this complex stimuli or that they would prefer it. So anyways, this study really had a lot of good findings, not only just like kicking off the start of baby infant scientific studies, like for the development of the eyes, but it also showed that the babies looked longer at patterns and that they can discriminate visual forms, and that babies are not just passive, that they do have preferences. Because the other times, it seems like some of the other like observational studies were just looking at like what the baby looked at and what it looked at first. And so this was the first one where it was based on the length of time. And I don't know about these babies, but I have preferential looking for a sunset or my favorite TV show. Thanks for coming along with me to go through this study, one of the early studies in visual baby development testing. And I'm just digging into this research to better understand the science behind the product that I'm putting into the world shortly, and really excited to have people coming along with me. So if you're there, please, I've always wanted to say this, please like, comment, and subscribe.